Okay, guys, we are back. 2023 real estate market forecast. Todd, Stephen, with Back Porch Homes, soon to be Virtue Built. We're going to get to that in a little bit. So today, I really want to thank you guys. You're back for many years. We were talking about this earlier. I don't know that we have the right number. 6, 7 years,
something
like that. And sponsoring again. So thank you very much. So here we are. We're going to blast this out before the forecast. Our forecast is going to be live. We are not doing virtual in-house stuff, except we're going to do that right now. So we're going to broadcast this before our forecast. We will be live, however, at the Fox Theater, March 15th. Registration 8 to 9, conference from 9 to noon, excuse me, 9 to 1. Action-packed, just like it's always been. And we're so thankful to be live. So anyway, thank you guys again for sponsoring. We love you.
We just do it so we get to hang out with you once a year.
Well, but there is a problem with that, though. We probably should get together a little bit more often. So a lot of stuff's going on with Back Porch in the last year or so. New facility. Looks like we got a new name coming up. We have a new logo. So when are you guys going to make this jump to Virtue Built?
Pretty soon.
Okay.
So we started Back Porch Homes. The idea being we were going to build ADUs.
Yep.
Tiny home ADUs.
Yep.
But as we got out there to the world, we started selling tiny home ADUs and realized there was a mass market for bigger homes as well.
Bigger market. Which I just learned about 3 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So we're now building bigger homes.
Bigger homes.
And
bigger ADUs too.
Okay.
So it's not just, tiny homes anymore. So
Okay.
we're building, and also there's park model trailers and a lot of other product lines that we're going down. So
Okay.
we thought the Back Porch Homes name didn't exactly fit what we were doing anymore. So we went with a new name, Virtue Built.
Very
which is
stylish. I like it a lot.
Trying to go with, we're building homes with a certain set of virtues. And
beautiful,
so that's
beautiful.
the goal, yeah.
So last we met was a year ago in studio, same place. And you guys will be live at our event. We're not sure exactly what role you're going to play.
Stilts, pogo sticks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, all of the above.
Juggling.
Dog and pony, everything, the whole 9 yards. So, but it's been a busy year for you. So since we met last, tell me about the new facility and how smooth that's gone. And
So I took a second to actually watch the old video so I could kind of cut off.
Oh, nice.
I was like, all right, what did we talk about last year?
Right.
So when we left off, we were going to be moving into our new facility.
Yep.
We did. So on April 1st, we got a 170,000 square foot facility on 12 acres.
Very exciting.
It's exciting. It took longer than expected, not to be surprised, working with the federal government to get our plant certification, but now we are fully certified for building all types of housing except for modular. We probably won't go to the modular space. I'm not saying we won't in another state, but in California. But so we can build both HUD certified units, so that's a federal standard for housing. You can basically put them anywhere in the country. ANSI certification, which is our park model tiny home, which is basically like an RV.
Yep.
I don't know, we could probably build all kinds of goofy stuff we wanted to. But so everything from a 200 square foot tiny home all the way up to right now, they can go bigger in the future, but an 1,800 square foot double wide.
So I had no idea that there was federal government, necessary to approve your new facility. So I guess I learned something there. So that took a little longer than you expected. We had a 3-minute pre-meeting. So 7 months of pain.
Just setting money on fire.
Right.
Pretty much.
Pretty much, like just watching, producing slower than.
It's just painful.
Yeah.
But you're past that. Okay, so let's
yeah.
move forward. So you're completely certified. You're up and running, and you're up and running.
2 homes a day.
Congratulations. All right. So let's start off with the tiny home ADU type thing, because I didn't know you were going bigger. So how's that market doing? So what's going on out there?
That has been, when we first got the factory, so last we left off, we said, we're going to build some double wides, single wides, some traditional mobile home stuff. That's half the factory.
Yep.
The other factory is ADU, tiny home. That's completely changed.
Okay.
Majority of the business right now is double wide, single wide, manufactured home product for in park. Some land home, meaning like on a piece of dirt, you put it on and live in it.
Right.
About 10 to 15% of our business is tiny homes and park models, so either recreational resort cottages or a tiny home that's towable. They usually go to different states, Oregon, Arizona.
Right.
And then of that double wide, single wide business, the ADU business is about 10% of that. And the double wide, single wide business, which has been around for 70 years, keeps all lights on.
Right.
But that ADU business has so much room to grow,
and
that's what we're trying to grow into now.
So what percentage of the business is the ADU stuff?
10%.
10. Okay, wow. That's
Well, the big reason, and I know you're shocked,
Right.
because all these laws have passed in California, so we were supposed to make ADUs much more accessible,
Right.
much easier to do. From a permit standpoint, it's supposed to be much easier. And
Government,
yeah, the government just is still not that great, and permits are still taking a lot longer than they should.
Right.
And really, in our space, most of the ADUs that are being built right now are being built by a contractor who does them on site.
Right.
So you're getting an ADU that's going to be built in your backyard, or you're doing a junior ADU.
a brick and
conversion.
mortar, stick built type thing.
Yep, absolutely.
So, right.
And our way of doing it, building it as a manufactured home, it's a much faster way, because even if the permitting still takes the same amount of time, the setup and delivery is only for us 3 days maximum.
Right.
Whereas a contractor, they get the permit, then
So
they get to work.
this 5 years of Wild West, we can do what we want, no one can say no. Maybe not quite that
Yeah,
way.
but that'll probably get extended.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's going. So it's 10 years now total, right? So 2030 for this, as of last year. However, what really is limiting is the amount of people kind of even aware of the space.
Right.
So we're business to business, right? We sell
Yep.
to dealers, they sell to a customer.
Yep.
The problem is there's really nobody in the space. So the traditional manufactured home dealers, so buying a HUD ADU, which is the easiest one to install of all the products, they don't know how to put them in backyards.
Right.
They've been putting in parks for years. They don't know how to change.
Right.
And then there's other people interested, but there's a financial barrier. Again, you got to have a couple $100,000 to be able to start one of these little dealerships. So that's our next venture, is to try and create I don't want to say a franchise, but what looks like really a franchise.
An ADU dealership.
ADU
really.
dealerships,
Right.
yeah.
Because the funny thing about California, and something that we didn't even know when we were in real estate heavily, is that HUD homes are preempted in California, which means anything that has a HUD sticker on it
Right.
can go on a single-family home lot as a single-family home or as an accessory dwelling unit.
Okay.
They're preempted, or they can go in parks too.
Right.
So it's actually the most versatile form of housing we have in this state.
But I want to go back to the marketing, because I just had an epiphany as you were talking. I don't think I've seen, I'm probably, including you guys, by the way, I don't think I've seen any marketing piece of any consistency anyway. Maybe I've seen one and I just dismissed it that said, oh, by the way, did you know that in the state of California, you have the ability to put a second unit on your property and increase your income and blah, 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 blah.
Ask yourself this question. How do you go buy a ADU right now, or a mobile home, or anything?
How would I?
Yeah.
I don't know, I'd probably do a Google search or something. and-
It's like word of mouth.
Oh,
There's almost no. The entire manufactured home industry has changed in California since the 70s. It's declined.
Right.
So there's nobody pushing it. It's all just. It's like realtors, right?
Right.
One relationship after another, and so you're seeing no traditional advertising, no main product on display.
Right.
There's only. Of the 800 HUD dealers in the entire state of California, only 187 even sold a home last year, and like 30 of them sold 90% of them.
Wow.
And there's only, I think, what they say, like 80 display lots in the entire state.
Yep.
So the industry has just consolidated so much, and now it has to grow again, which is why you're seeing all these new builders show up. But they're all in the early stages with all these
Yeah,
changes.
but even with the, it's a bad comparison, but I'll use it anyway. Okay, you had the HERO program
Yeah.
that was so prevalent, and man, you could not open your mailbox. You could not open, everything. So, geez, put on solar panels and get new windows, and we'll paint your house, and we'll do all this energy efficient stuff, and you don't have to pay for it. It's all part of this program, and blah, 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 and good, bad, or ugly. A lot of bad, a lot of ugly, but some good. I almost would have expected something similar that said, even if it was just a mailing piece that went out to non-owner occupants, landlords that said, hey, did you know?
Yep.
Did you know you could do a junior ADU converting the garage? Did you know you have the ability to do this?
Well,
I just don't see that.
So this is kind of there's like a dirty little secret in this industry. The manufactured home industry is actually kind of like a mafia. Like no one is allowed in.
Mafia.
No, seriously, it's odd. So when we got in because we had a bunch of consultants that had been in the industry for 30 plus years, and they came to work for us, and they
Right.
made the introductions to the suppliers, to
Yep.
the manufacturers. There's no new blood. Everybody is 70
for you
plus.
guys.
We're the only ones.
Yeah.
So when you go to a factory right now, let's say you wanted to get an ADU from Clayton, Champion, Cavco, you
Okay.
can't. You're not allowed in. There's no room in the factory for you to buy. There's no supply. They have territories. It's just like a car dealership. You can't get in. We're the only new factory in California in 30 plus years. So we're the only people taking on new dealers.
Right.
There's no new supply of business.
Interesting. But you guys came into it. It does sound like you've almost modified a little bit. You came
yeah.
in full blown ADU, tiny home. This is what we're going to do. And now again, we we do probably need to talk more than once a year.
Yeah.
But now it's almost like have you joined the mafia? Are
We're a certified member of
yeah, we're-
CMHI.
Exactly.
Okay, so you're more kind of almost traditional. Traditional manufactured home.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for the time being, most of what we're building right now is going into most of them actually going to like 55 plus
Well,
parks.
I'm going to talk to the camera here for a second. So we've talked about this.
Yeah.
We do a lot of property management,
Yep.
and we have different audiences for our forecast. We have realtors who just only want that. People just want the economic side, and then we have a fairly significant number of landlords. We've marketed to you. So if you're one of our clients or a landlord, or if you're not our client but you own rental property, I've been saying since you guys first introduced this to me 4 years ago, which correct? Back when we Fox Theater, I think you're like, hey, we got
That's probably
this
2019.
5 years ago,
2018?
4 or 5 years ago. I just thought, wow, what a great idea for not every one of our property owner landlords, because not every one of these properties is a good fit, ingress, egress issue, all those things we've talked about. But for a percentage, it definitely makes sense. And I don't know that one of my clients, and I probably should take some responsibility for that, because we've kind of introduced that. We opened the door. I think we even might have done some really brief introductions with some of our clients, but it's that next step. It's like, hey, your property works for this perfectly. Let's get this done.
That's exactly it, and that's but that's the problem. That buying a house and buying an ADU is not an easy process.
Right.
And there's no streamlined way to do it. Like with the Hero program, if you wanted to get solar put on your home, it was an easy process. And plus it's not as expensive. A massive solar system on your home is going to be like what, $50,000.
And nobody has to pay for it. We'll just throw it on the taxes, or we'll just
Exactly.
at least with you guys, there's got to be some financing associated
right.
with this.
So here's where you're going to see a big difference, though, because like Todd's talking about the easy process. The last 2 years, when we were here, we said you couldn't get home for 2 years from a factory.
Right.
That doesn't exist now.
So now, what's your delivery turn time?
3 months.
Well,
Like
okay.
all of the backlogs. So this is why we'll start to see this ADU manufactured home market open up. All of the backlogs across the country are gone.
Okay.
So every factory in the whole country was 2 years. Some are shut down.
Oh.
The entire manufactured home industry just hit a wall.
Okay. So hit a wall as in out of business?
Economically,
Okay.
the entire
But wasn't before some of it was supply chain as much as anything else, wasn't it? Or lumber was too expensive, or you couldn't get a dishwasher, or so those problems don't exist?
So one of the things that, other than supply, is almost entirely back, but the REITs in parks were buying a significant number of manufactured homes. As soon as the economy got too close to that we don't know where things are going, all the REITs stopped buying.
Right.
They stopped investing in the
Okay.
parks, which means all these factories, especially the ones in the south,
Right.
no longer had a customer.
Right.
So these guys are producing 2,000-3,000 units a year
Gone.
per location. All those orders dried up.
Right.
So the suppliers at this point are 1 to 2 weeks out in delivering material instead of months. The entire thing has freed up
Okay.
because of interest rates.
Right. Interest rates. Good God.
Yeah.
How's that impacting you guys? I mean, because it's
Oddly enough, they didn't go up at the same jump. We didn't go from 2.5% interest rates up to a 5.5%
Yeah.
interest rate. It
Right.
went from, they were already high at like 7.5% interest rates for a
Oh,
mobile
I
home.
wasn't even thinking about that, because you
Yeah.
guys, you're not, Fannie Freddie conforming. So
Exactly.
so when rates were 17 months ago, 18 months ago, if I was to finance one of your projects, I would have been
Yeah, you
7.
were like 6.99.
Okay, so what are we paying today?
10.
Yeah, it's like
Okay,
10.
all right, so higher, but not 1.5 times.
But 70% of our buyers from our retailers are cash.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
So-
So most of the people are selling their traditional home, their regular stick-built home,
Right.
and then they're downsizing into a 55-plus park.
Okay, but
And-
again, but you're now back into the more. I still have my head on the ADU,
Yeah, right.
tiny home type concept. So you've got people basically cashing out, flush, going downsizing, paying cash.
Yeah, that's the double wide, single wide model. And then on the ADU side, it's still all the same problems you run into residential real estate. Can you refi your home with enough equity to make an investment in your house, right? Or
Yeah.
can you get a conforming loan to I guess it's all refi, really, it's just really
Yeah,
refi. Or chattel.
Yeah, you can get a chattel mortgage too.
For- to
If
20
you
years.
don't want to make it part of the real estate, if you want to keep it as a trailer,
Right.
you can do that as well.
Well, getting back to the ADU section, the tiny home, I'm probably mislabeling. We don't call them tiny homes anymore, right? I got to stop that.
Tiny home doesn't have an official designation yet.
yeah.
Okay.
So a tiny home is any home that's small. I mean,
Understood. Okay.
it's
So,
Yeah.
but with,
What's a small home?
Yeah.
but with that in mind, because again, I guess that's where my head still is so I've got some equity, I've got some cash, even though market's been rough. I mean, we showed some numbers, anywhere from 8 to 12, 13% drop in property values in the last, from peak, from May of 2022. Honestly, and I know that a lot of people get wound up on that, oh my gosh, we've seen this, and Lance, how can you dismiss it? Well, I can only dismiss it because we saw a 40% plus run up in the prior 2 years, and if you're in that group that was purchasing from, let's just call it December of 2021 and January, February, March, April, May. So if you're in that 6-month window, okay, I'm sorry, you guys have been hurt a little bit. But everybody else, not so much. And maybe there's some stability, who knows? Do you guys even pay attention to the Fed or Chairman Powell, or is that just more residential stuff?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, you always have to keep your thumb on the pulse.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a question. Okay, again, today's February 21st. If we had sat down 2 weeks ago, let's just call it, February 5th, not talking your world, and I know you guys are in my world, residential real estate, traditional financing, we would have been looking at mortgage rates in the low 6s, okay, 6.5, 6 and, whatever, 6 1/4. Now we're, 7 3/8, certainly north of 7 in 2 weeks. Jobs report comes out, some good news is bad news, and, Powell comes in and says, I got to throw a wet blanket on this market and crush it. What's happened to interest rates on financing your properties in the last 2 weeks?
Nobody's even noticed.
Yeah,
So nothing?
Yeah, not much of a blip.
Okay, good. So that makes me that good. So, because that, number one, I want you guys to succeed, but I got to tell you, I feel like I'm in this whipsaw effect where, the last 6 months of last year was rough. And I just had a meeting with Art Carter. You saw him as he was walking out of the studio. And we were talking, when I first got into the business, the old, real estate's all about location. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's really cute. And some truth to that. And then I stole it from somebody, said, oh, well, that's really cute, but how about, let's do this, location, condition, and price. And I liked that. And for years and years and years, I would say, yeah, location's important, but condition's pretty important. And if you overprice, I don't care what location. So I would location, condition, and price. Now I throw that bullshit out. And now location's not even part of my equation anymore. Supply, demand, and interest rates. Because, that's really where we are right now.
Yeah.
So bringing that to your world, it sounds like the supply has loosened up a little bit, which is good. So how is the demand for the product?
Demand's high. It's, in California, we don't build new manufactured home parks.
Okay.
There hasn't been a new manufactured home park in California for 37 years, I think it is.
Yeah.
Why? Is it a regulatory thing?
CEQA. That and a number of other things. Nobody wants them in their town.
Not in my backyard.
NIMBYism,
Right.
yeah. So, we're actually, Riverside is going to have the first manufactured home park built in 37
Brand
years.
new.
Brand new park. It's called Fruition Park.
When's this?
This
is my backyard.
We're going to be shipping homes to it starting in March or April, right?
Really?
We start building in April, first delivery in June, 99 units.
Are you selling units to homeowners or to the park themselves?
No,
or
to the
models?
park owner. Park owner is selling to the public.
Okay.
So it's just like
Congratulations.
a subdivision.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And 99 double wides, so 198 floors for us. It's a big contract.
That's a
but
big deal.
It's big because we just don't do it. If you go out to the south, back east, anywhere, just about any other state other than California, they just build a new park and they fill it up as people show up.
Yeah, well, and they probably actually build houses too, and they actually build things in these other states, these other parts of the country. We don't seem to be able to do that.
Yeah, so the big business in California, at least from a manufactured homes standpoint, is you take the old homes that were built in 1965 or something, pull out that piece of junk, and replace it with something new, and then you sell it new in a park.
Right.
And that's how the manufactured home world has been done since the 70s. Really.
4,200 parks or 4,300 parks with an average of 400 spaces across the entire state, half those in SoCal. So the industry is essentially constrained by that, and then the only way to expand, which is why we're focusing on ADU so much, is to go into a different market because they're not going to build more parks. So all the manufactured homes business has to be ADUs.
Right. How much of your business is out of state now, though? You mentioned your shipments to Arizona or whatever.
Yeah, Arizona, Oregon, a little bit. It's like 15% is what's going out of state, but. As the demand grows and awareness of our company, and will of course affect that.
Well, I'm glad you guys are diversifying, and congratulations on the 99 units. That's fantastic. But I got to tell you, in my world, you're still going to be the ADU guys. We need to, and I still look at that based upon my experience as a completely untapped resource or market.
That's what we told you during the last interview. We specifically said the whole goal of the double wides is to keep the lights on. We've got to be able to sustain ourselves long enough as a company, and then that's why there's literally 2 production lines, because one is for the traditional stuff, one is for the ADUs, the park models, the tiny homes, all the other stuff.
Right.
So we have our double wide line, or HUD line, double and single wide line is fully integrated now up, and then we have the second line that we have to bring back up online. Now we've got the certification in place, and then start producing ADUs. So we have some ADU orders coming in, like they're coming in onesie, twosie from dealers as they figure it out. But the big key, the one thing that we're gonna have to really focus on over the next year is getting these sort of franchise dealerships up, because we're not gonna run dealerships. We need to find people
franchise
partners on
them.
them.
Yeah.
But there are a couple major names that have been in the industry, kind of won't pick on them, but there's 3 or 4 of them that have tried to do the ADU.
Are these the mafia guys?
No, these are
Okay.
non-manufacturing.
They were not in the mafia.
These
That
are
was the problem.
yeah, they were not in the mafia.
Just checking.
But they went out into the world and they advertised in their markets. You'd get these pieces in LA and San Francisco that they would put a unit in your backyard to either sell it to you or rent it out. And they got an immense amount of contracts, 300, 400, 500 contracts in like 90-day windows. The problem is they were geographically too far apart with no local people going to the building departments.
Yep.
So they have all these contracts, and manufactured home sales have a time clock on them where you have to renew. Well, all these contracts are expiring. Then during COVID, all of the prices went up from all the inflation, and then all these people got sued by their potential buyers.
Lovely.
And then had to unwind all these deposits, and so
Right.
they're all working their way out of it. What we really need, and this is everybody's cry for help, right? There's no industrial athletes out there. Like, we need a whole bunch of people that are willing to open a dealership where it's one person's handling all the accounting and finance, one person's handling all the sales, and one person is handling all the general construction.
Right.
A 3-person entity could probably make $5 million a year putting one ADU a week in a backyard, and it's a completely untapped business. And all you got to do is get a manufactured housing sales license.
Right.
If you want something to do that's bulletproof for the next until 2030, that's what I'd be doing right now.
Right.
If we're building.
So where are you finding these
We haven't found many of them yet. We found like 1 or 2.
Yeah, we found one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's probably we're gonna have to probably start it
Yeah.
and create a franchise
And
model.
like
or
hand it
something.
to someone and be like, buy
It's-
this.
Yeah, that's the problem is that it takes a very unique set of skills to understand every component that it takes to get an ADU into a backyard.
Right.
From
well, just something as simple, and again, this is, I don't know if this is a right question or not. We're just riffing here.
Yeah.
So I got a buddy, Chris Leeper, one of my agents, who has done very
Hello,
well
Chris.
investing. Yeah, yep. And he needs to reach out to you. So I'm like, yeah, let's
he's
ask questions. Let's do a
messaging me
Q&A.
like all the time on
So
Facebook.
well, Chris has got a property that he's in the process of, not an ADU necessarily, but the junior ADU is doing a
Yeah.
garage conversion. So you got the permitting process. We work through that. How are you guys handling? This is kind of Chris's question, which is not Chris's question. This is an everybody question. How are you guys handling the utilities on these, as far as like Drake, for example, my son Drake. He's a perfect property perfect property for 3 years now. You need to put call the back porch guys, get the unit in there, and he hasn't done it. Again, I don't know why. Again, there's this barrier to, maybe you're taking. And by the way, he lives in that house, so he's like, I don't know if I want a tenant living next to me. But he's got the perfect property, the perfect lot, the perfect ingress egress. It's perfect. But how do you guys handle the utilities? Are you ever separate metered on everything, what do you reckon?
Most ADU stuff is just all direct from what you got existing.
Yeah, but how do you deal? I got 2 tenants now. I got a tenant in the front. I got a tenant in the back. So what do we just do?
That's a landlord investment question, right? The utility connection is the same cost underground. It's just whether or not you want to pay for the meter.
Right.
So do you want to spot the meter? Do you want to go through Edison?
Right.
Yeah, and you can actually get a third-party meter if you wanted to run something.
Yeah.
in
Like a
line.
sub-meter kind of
Yeah,
a thing.
and do a sub-meter, and you could actually meter it
It's on
yourself.
your phone.
Yeah, and you can actually bill your
So
tenant.
that's the proper way to do it.
$1,000 get you all the little tools you
Yeah,
want.
because chopping utility bills. In effect, you're in unit A, you're in unit B, and the electric bill is $300. Sure. Well, you pay $150, you pay $150. That's fine until the tenants start reading the statute and says you can't do that.
Yeah.
So sub-meter basically, it sounds like, is what you guys would be recommending on those.
Yeah, you could. There's an inline water meter. It's got a ticker on it.
Yep.
And then there's a little clamp that goes around your electrical meter on the back.
Right.
And they both read on your phone. You just bill their percentage of the bill. Call it a day.
Right. So you've got, hey, this is how many kilowatts here, this is how many kilowatts there, boom. There you go, Chris. So, what minute are we on? I'll let you know what minute we're on. Okay, well, what else you got? What's happening? What do you want to do before we wrap up and march on to 2023? So
That's a fantastic question.
This is your show.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's go to the real estate side. So obviously, there's your logo, and congratulations, Virtue Built is coming. I don't want to share these numbers. Well, not that I don't want to share them. I'll share them with everybody. Let's get your thoughts on this gentleman. Do you even give a rip? Doesn't sound like you're paying much attention.
We
to
are,
Chairman
though.
Powell.
I mean,
It's important.
The reality is all the lenders in the industry are paying attention.
Yep.
What we've heard from them, though, despite that at our meetings, is that the number of applications hasn't gone down. What they're seeing is the number of denials going up.
Okay.
So,
So the
interest
creditworthiness
there.
is becoming, a little more challenging, but you've seen very little impact on higher rates just because of the market you're in.
Yes.
Well, to go back to Bruce Norris, it all comes down to affordability.
Right.
Really, that's what we're up against.
Right.
As the rates go up, affordability.
So let's
goes
take a
down.
look at this. This is median price in Riverside County. How do you feel about this? So this is last year.
Terrifying.
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 Okay. Well, this is last year, just so we can set the stage for the audience. And I know we got don't worry about we got freaking Todd sitting in front of
I
my
know.
chart. Adam, who set this up? So most of you guys have been watching my snapshot, see this. So this is 2022, January to December, 2.7% drop in median for the year. This is the one that I think has more people concerned. May, for the most part, was the peak in most markets. Again, this is Riverside County, 8.8% drop from May to January 31st. And again, today's February 21st, so this is pretty current data, just a few weeks old. Orange County's seen larger numbers, 12, 13, 14%.
Typically does ahead of us.
Others a little bit less. Does this concern you?
Yeah, I mean, look. So if I look at that, I was watching your update the other day when you put it out. Well, the February one. Not I pulled all the data from Redfin. Right.
Yep.
Fortunately, if you guys don't know, you can pull data directly from Redfin, export
Hey.
it into charts.
What are you talking about? You pulled data. You wait
Get
for
it
me.
all here. He will do all the work for you.
You wait for me to send the data. I'll be going to Redfin. What are you
However,
talking about?
if you want to do a very specific
this
market,
interview's over.
I wanted to know. I think we've talked about before. My litmus test is Marina Valley, right?
Okay.
The most affordable market. It's 80% the same product. It's a great canary in the coal mine.
Yep, very much.
So
Agreed.
I pulled Marina Valley's data and I looked at it and I saw a 9.3% price per square foot drop.
Okay.
And I went, okay, because that tells me that the home size is actually, I looked at the home size is shrinking that's being sold.
Yep.
And the cost per square foot of that home is also going down.
Yep.
So now we have a real change in, and obviously it's just, you hit this affordability apex, but every single market change has always been a soft landing and never been one for like 50 years.
Right.
Since we went off the gold standard.
Right.
So let's not pretend that suddenly the Fed's going to not overcorrect one way or another.
Right.
And then the concern right now is that are we going to hit that 3-tiered drop
Right.
till we got to pull Volcker, and we probably can't.
Yeah.
And inflate ourselves
Volcker,
or go
again,
the other way.
the second interview I've done today, Volcker's name's come up for the second time.
It's-
Art Carter just mentioned Volcker.
It's a concern.
It is.
It's that he was the only one that could set the precedent. Like, we got to break the economy, otherwise we're doomed.
Yep.
So I'm more worried about from an inflationary standpoint from the Fed. That's why we're watching the Fed, not from the rate standpoint.
Right.
I'm hoping they break the economy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the investor in us says,
Yeah.
please break the economy.
Because
Yeah.
so we can always, so our plan is to get into finance, right? We're going to eventually finance these units ourselves. So we're going to carry on them. We can carry the paper whatever terms we want, and then as rates go up, it actually helps us because I can go to, if I went to you and said, hey, I know like the bond market's at 7, but I'll give you 10% on your money, and it's backed by real estate at 40% LTV. You're like, yeah, that's not too bad for the extra 3%.
Okay.
So we can do that with a lot of people. So at 2%, we couldn't compete with anybody. But people get real funny when rates get above 10%, because if you get pitched an investment and you're like, hey, it's a 12% return, people go, oh, what's a scam?
Yeah.
50%, what's a scam? But for
Right.
some reason, 10's this weird number. So if we can keep the rates there, we'd be happy because we can go charge 3% above that,
Right.
paid to an investor, and make money on and have financing for our customers.
Interesting. So what's your forecast for this year?
Interest rates?
No. Well, okay, sure. Let's start with that. Interest rates.
I think they'll go up.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, they're going to go up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're let's just say, for argument's sake, we're at 7 right now, which is a point higher than we were 2 weeks ago. So we're ending the year.
I wouldn't
Well-
be surprised if we're at 8.5 by the end of the
8.5.
year.
Yeah, and if you using Marina Valley,
Yep.
I think I sent you a report 12 years ago showing that Marina Valley was undervalued.
Okay.
I would do the opposite right now, right? Marina Valley is probably overvalued.
Okay.
Based on rate changes, not based on the product, because the product is similar to.
So
2006.
you would predict values to continue to drop through 2023 based solely on
Yeah.
interest rates.
Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, I would not disagree with that, but I'm not. I'm looking at a different set of data, and I'm looking at different people that are still basically saying we're not going to see rates. We may see them, who knows where we are on the forecast day, or April or May,
Yeah.
or whatever it happens to be, but we're still saying we end the year sub 6 in the 5s, which would change everything. Which frankly, just to get back to did I even have this chart? I don't know if I have this chart. Damn it, I don't. Well, this is Riverside County. If you look at the last 3 bars, it's basically, let's just for lack of an argument's sake, say those last 3 bars are, sorry, Todd, but basically stable.
True.
Okay. I think they stabilized because people kind of got used to rates in the 5s,
Yeah.
6s, and maybe even because we hit that 7% mark, and then we've seen a little bit of stability. Okay, great. I guess how I want to buy a house. But that might change if we're now in another one of these, oh, well, geez, we thought we were coming back down, now we're going back up. And I think it certainly changes if you're correct.
Well,
if we're looking at
Also, if
rates
the
with
lenders
an
get
8 handle.
nervous and the 2-1 buy downs go away.
Yeah.
When the 2-1 buy down disappears and can't make up for that couple of first years of payment where people think they're going to refi 3 years from now, they always extend the loan product as far as they can. We've hit the edge of Dodd-Frank. Now it's just buy downs and not creative financing, but creative strategies. And you're at the edge of your sales plan. There's nothing after that.
Right. Well, every lender's nervous right now.
Yeah.
They might be nervous for different reasons, but I mean, it's tough being a lender right now.
Yeah.
It's tough. I mean, you just do a couple of Google searches and everybody's, trimming, going out of business,
Pulling up
selling,
shop, yeah.
just done.
Serious people I know are like literally saying, "Hey, I'm out for a bit."
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, watching Athos fold, I was like, they were like, "Yeah, we're good."
Yep.
And they're the
Yeah.
10 million pound gorilla in the
Well, the interesting part is you had companies that were just slaying it a year and a half ago that are out of business today.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff. Okay, so there you are. So there's our economist Lance Martin, economist Virtue Built.
We're economists, yeah.
We are, well, it's fine. We joke about it because
Yeah.
we kind of do a couple things. We are economic forecast. I'm kind of an industry guy. I mean, you guys are not economists, but you follow it as much as anybody
Sure,
else.
Yeah, you
so
have
everyone
to.
has an opinion.
Sure.
So we shall see. We'll kind of close with this, and I might have told. I don't know if I talked to you, Stephen. I know I talked to Todd, but I might have mentioned this. Thornburg basically is saying no recession, where everything's going to be fine. Everybody just calm down. Claremont, the guys at Claremont McKenna are calling for recession. So they're both going to be speaking. So, it's just interesting times.
It's as far as like to see an actual recession, like a crash, like a 2008 or 2000, late 2007 crash, where we were literally at an REO, auction, watching the prices drop in Moreno Valley from 350,000 down to 140,000.
Well,
I don't think it's going to be that same thing.
That's a different animal.
Even if rates go up, I still don't think we're going to have a serious decline in.
But we have to
real estate
deleverage.
activity.
Just we don't know what it looks like.
Yeah.
You got to deleverage. The average
some
consumer
point.
has to deleverage.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's no. In the last interview, I said it's when the government shuts off the spigot, it's off.
Yeah.
So
Spigot's definitely off.
eventually it's going to seek out to the public.
So we shall see. We'll see what levers get pulled behind the scenes and how we have to adjust accordingly. Okay, guys. So again, Stephen and Todd with our Back Porch Homes / soon to be Virtue Built. So keep an eye out on that. There's the logo. We're going to interview this interview before the forecast, so we're not doing an in-studio everybody. We just got a couple of guys coming in doing that. You probably saw our Carter's video. We've now got Stephen and Todd with Back Porch at Virtue. But March 15th, registration 8 to 9. Program starts at 9 o'clock, runs till 1 o'clock. The usual suspects are there. It's going to be great. So we'll see you March 15th. Don't be late.